Hey third grade, happy snow day. This is your video for reading for today. And for reading today, we are going to do a fix-it grammar. So before we get started, if you don't already have one, what you're gonna want is a piece of notebook paper and a pencil. So if you need to pause this, grab a notebook paper and a pencil, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some review, we're gonna do some practice. I'm going to ask you a couple bonus questions that you can add to your paper, and then there's going to be a sentence for you to fix and correct on your own, and that's what you'll turn in for homework. So if you haven't already done that, pause the video and grab those things, then come back to this. If you are ready, then we're going to do some review. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each of the parts that you're going to end up labeling in your sentences, so that we kind of have a review of some of those things, and then we're going to practice, okay? So our first thing is articles. If you remember, our articles are just the three words a, an, and the, okay? Nouns are a person, place, or thing. So it could be mom, desk, a sled, things like that. They're people, places, and things. Pronouns are words that replace a noun. It just prevents us from having to repeat a noun all the time. So we use words like he and him, she and her, they and them, we, our. There's lots of other ones, but those are some of the really common ones that we see a lot, okay? Adjectives are words that describe a noun. So if I have the noun bunny, I could use an adjective like fluffy. So in a sentence, you might see the fluffy bunny. That describes what the noun is like, okay? Okay, we also have prepositional phrases. So prepositional phrase just tells you where or when something is happening. So if I have the phrase under the bed, that's a prepositional phrase. Okay? If I say my toy is under the bed, in that sentence, under the bed is my prepositional phrase. Under is telling me where or when something is happening. And where is it happening? Under the bed. So under is my preposition, bed is the noun that it relates to. So our whole prepositional phrase is under the bed. And when we're editing this in our sentences, how we would show that is just by underlining it just like this. Okay, so you would underline under the bed. Okay, we also have who, which clauses. So a who, which clause just gives us more information about the noun. So if we look at the sentence, the dog who loves to play fetch ran across the yard. I know it doesn't say yard, I ran out of space, but that's what it's supposed to say. Okay, we could just have the sentence, the dog ran across the yard. But when it says who loves to play fetch, it's telling us more about the dog. That's the purpose of a who, which clause. It just gives us more information. So the dog who loves to play fetch ran across the yard. So when we're editing our sentences, how we would show this or how we would mark it is put a parentheses after that first comma. We're going to put our W\W, who, which, and then we're ending our who, which clause before the rest of the sentence. So I'm going to sneak it right before that second comma. Okay, that's how we would show it when we're editing a sentence. Okay? Okay. Now we also have subject-verb pairs. If you guys remember, the subject is who or what the sentence is about, okay? And then the verb is telling us what they're doing. Now we identify the subject-verb pair to help us understand the sentence a little better. So if I have the sentence, the dog ran across the yard, my subject is dog. My verb is ran. What is the dog doing? He ran across the yard. So my subject-verb pair is dog ran. And you just mark that when you're editing your sentences with an S and a V. Our subject is dog, our verb is ran. Okay? And you'll see that when we practice. So let's practice a couple. We're going to do 2 practices together, and then you're going to do one on your own for homework, okay? So our first example is, after a few minutes, she asked him about his unusual bag. So our vocab word for this sentence is unusual. Think about what unusual means. Maybe it's odd or interesting. There's a little bit of mystery there, right? It's kind of an unusual bag. Okay, so here it's going to show me what I need to mark and what I need to fix, so we're going to go through this one together. So after a few minutes, she asked him about his unusual bag. Okay, our first thing we need to mark is an article. So remember, an article is the words a, and the. In this sentence, the article is a. So I'm going to mark that by putting AR above my article. Okay? Now it says I need 2 nouns. Okay? Remember, a noun is a person, place, or thing. In this case, in this sentence, my nouns are minutes and bag. The people, places, or things. Okay, now I have 2 pronouns. Some of you might get tripped up with this, but see if you can follow along, okay? So my 2 pronouns in this case are she, I'm going to mark it with a PR, and him. Those are my pronouns. Now some of you might be thinking, why isn't his a pronoun? We'll get to that in just a second. So next I have 3 adjectives. Remember, an adjective describes a noun, okay? So let's look at our nouns. Minutes. Well, it tells me how many minutes I have. How many minutes? A few. So few, in this case, would be an adjective. How many minutes? A few minutes. Okay? Now, the next one, we're looking at the noun bag. There's actually 2 adjectives. So his does not function as a pronoun. It actually functions as an adjective because who does the bag belong to? It belongs to him. It's his bag. So we're going to label his as a pronoun. And what type of bag is it? It's an unusual bag. So unusual, whoops, I labeled pronoun. Whoops. Sorry about that. It's supposed to be adjectives. Adjective, sorry. His is an adjective. Whose bag is it? It's his. And what type of bag is it? It's an unusual bag. So those are adjectives. Okay? Now it says we have 2 prepositional phrases. Okay? So remember, prepositional phrase tells us when or where it's taking place. Okay? So in this case, after a few minutes is one of our prepositional phrases. Okay? My preposition is after. The noun it's relating to is minutes. After a few minutes, she asked him for his unusual bag. Now, what's our second one? Our second prepositional phrase is about his unusual bag. Okay, about is our preposition, bag is our noun. Okay? Now, we also have 1 subject-verb pair. So we're looking at who or what the sentence is about, and then what are they doing. In this case, the sentence is about she. So our subject is she. Now, had I done this right, you put them right on top of each other. That's what we usually do. So I'll write that a little smaller. So my subject is she. Okay, and what did she do? She asked him about his unusual bag. Okay? Now the last thing we have to do is fix it. We have a couple things we need to fix. It says I need a capital letter. I'm going to capitalize the first letter in the sentence by marking it with 3 lines. And then I'm going to add an end mark. In this case, my end mark is a period. And why? Because it's a full stop. I could just hear all of you saying that at the same time. Okay, so this is what it would look like. And then normally in class what we would do is rewrite the sentence correctly with all of the changes that we made if we made any. Okay? In this case, the only changes that we actually made are the capital letter and the period. We just labeled the rest of them, but sometimes we do have others. Okay? So let's do another practice. All right. In this one, our sentence is the second soldier rashly told the princess about the dwarf. So our vocab word for this sentence is rashly. Think about what rashly means. This might not be a word that you guys have heard very much in a sentence, but rashly just means like you jumped to a conclusion quickly, or you didn't put a whole lot of thought into it. You were a little bit careless. That's what rashly would mean, okay? Okay, now we're gonna mark all of our parts of the sentence here, and then we're going to fix the things we need to fix. So the first thing I have is 3 articles. Remember, articles are the words a, an, and the. So in this sentence, I have the, and the. Pretty simple, right? Okay, now it says I have 3 nouns. My 3 nouns are soldier, princess, and dwarf. Okay, people, places, or things. Okay, now I have 1 adjective. My adjective in this case is second. Okay, remember, an adjective describes a noun. So which soldier? The second soldier. I have 1 prepositional phrase. My prepositional phrase in this sentence is about the dwarf. Remember, a prepositional phrase tells us when or where something is happening. So in this case, about is my preposition. The noun it's referring to is dwarf. Okay? And lastly, I have a subject-verb pair. Remember, a subject-verb pair is just who or what the sentence is about, and then what they're doing. A verb is the action. So it's the subject being who or what the sentence is about, and then what are they doing. So in this case, my subject is the soldier. Okay? And then what he's doing, the verb, is he told the princess about the dwarf. Okay. Now finally I have to fix it. I have a couple things I need to fix. I need to fix a capital letter. And I need to add an end mark, which in this case is a period, because it's a full stop. Okay, here's a bonus word for you. I want you to write on your paper 3 examples of adjectives. Okay, if you want to, you can include what an adjective is, and then give me 3 examples of adjectives. Another bonus question is, what are, how should we do this? What are, give me an example of a prepositional phrase. I want you to write a sentence, and then I want you to underline the prepositional phrase and circle the preposition. So create a sentence, it can be whatever you like. And in that, I want you to underline the prepositional phrase and then circle the preposition. Okay? Then the last bit of your homework will be trying one on your own. Okay? So here's your sentence for today. He explained to the princess about his special bag, which always refilled with gold. So our vocab word in this sentence is explained. Think about what explained means. Maybe you made it more clear. Maybe you helped someone understand. Okay? So when you're ready, what I want you to do is write down this sentence. I want you to mark all these pieces of the sentence and show how you would fix these things, and then rewrite the sentence correctly, just like we do in class. So when you bring your paper back, your paper should have your name on it first, right? If you were listening, there were 2 bonus questions just a few minutes ago. And then you are going to write this sentence, mark it up like we usually do, or like we did in the examples, the practice, okay? And then rewrite the sentence the correct way, all right? If you guys have any questions, or if you get stuck on something, send me a message on Class Dojo. Otherwise, happy snow day, and don't forget to check out the math video.